Can I be honest with you? Oh, rejection. Rejection. It hurts. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how smart you are. Anytime that you are rejected by a group of people, from a relationship, from a partnership, from anything, a sports team, a chess team, anything that you wanted to be a part of, if you're rejected the school you wanted to go through, anything that rejects you is hard to accept. But there's something in the power of rejection that I want to talk about. In the rejection, you actually begin to realize something. Even though it hurts, even though it's painful, you still find a way to survive. You don't die. And in finding a way to survive, you actually understand something about you. Maybe you're a little tougher than what you thought. Maybe you have a little bit more tenacity than you're giving yourself credit for. But there's a power in rejection, and this is what it is. When you are rejected, you are isolated. See, these are a group of friends sometimes that you wanted to be with, especially if it's a group of people who you really love, and these people are now deciding that you can't hang out with them anymore. This is real isolation. You're being left out in the cold. In that isolation is a power. And that power is in when you begin to realize that the thing that you thought you had to have, the thing that you thought made you stay alive and gave you life, breath, and strength, and that thing is taken from you, you actually realize in this period called isolation that you didn't have to have it. Though it be painful, you begin to realize that you will live and not die. But here's the power. You transition from the isolation to the insulation. In the insulation phase, this is when you become very familiar with your talents, your abilities, your skills, your giftings. There's some things I do well. There's some things that I actually know how to do and people are willing to pay me for. In the insulation phase, not only can you not influence them, but watch this, there's a barrier between them influencing you. So now you come into your own. You begin to realize who you are. You begin to realize what you bring to the table. You begin to understand that you have intrinsic value. But then there's another phase, and this is the best phase. Because you've gone from isolation to insulation, now you enter into a phase and place that many people don't venture to go. Once you begin to accept that you have value, once you begin to realize that you bring something to the table, once you realize that there is a value that is intrinsic, there's a value that's hardwired into who you are, and no one can diminish that unless you give them permission, now you enter a space where you can hear clearly from the Creator. This is a space called consecration. But in order to get the consecration, you've got to go through the rejection. You got to be isolated and you got to be insulated. And now you're consecrated. See, in the consecration phase, this is when you become a beast. This is when you find out why you're here, what you do, and who you are. And you begin to impact the world in the way that you were designed to from the beginning of time. I'm asking you this. I'm asking if you would think about the rejections in your life and not see them as painful times, though they were. I'm asking you to see the rejection as your protection that led you to isolation, to insulation, to consecration, so that you can be all that you can possibly be, so that you can have all that you can possibly have, and so that you can leave your mark in this world. Because now the Creator can trust you with the ingredients and the information you need to set this world on fire. My name is Brian Keith. Thank you for listening.